Good morning. Welcome to your early morning intuitive guidance, brought to you by Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. So, it's not COVID. I did my tests and they were negative. I think it's just a head cold, but it is dripping like crazy. So, it's very red right now because I just blew my nose before I got on here, hoping to get through this without needing to use, good morning, Diane, a whole lot of tissue. But once I'm off camera, I'm shoving this back up there and letting it do its own thing. Kind of like wicking, I guess. So, anyway, yes, I think it's just a head cold because the COVID tests were negative. But I'm Dr. Bonnie Nussbaum, America's kick-ass coach and psychologist, here with some words of wisdom, and glad that we're back on track here with this. Good morning, Luann, and good morning to the other two of you who I cannot see. I can see Diane and Luann, and the other two of you are anonymous. You're lurking. So, welcome to our intuitive guidance. I'm going back to our old methodology because the new fancy newfangled thing did not work. So, here we are. Virtues reflection cards from the Virtues Project. And again, I greatly appreciate that this reads correctly instead of backwards. That makes me happy. Beautiful little bright card today. Add some sunshine to our day. You can see there's a butterfly hiding in there right above the word charity. It's a little brown butterfly or moth. I'm not sure which. But our word is charity. Our word is charity. So check in with yourselves and see if you have any initial gut reactions to the word charity, because oftentimes people do. And as I read this, I think it will help maybe modify some of those initial negative reactions that people have to that word. Charity. Charity is a giving heart, a generous way of viewing others and caring for their needs. Unless we are charitable, no matter how much excellence we acquire, it is without purpose. Charity springs from compassion for the suffering of others, even those we don't know. And the book we finished up last night for book club, The Salt Path, at the end, one of the things that she says about homelessness, good morning, Robin. One of the things that she says about homelessness is she's asking a series of questions, the gist of which is, what do we need as human beings to get it that people being homeless is not an okay thing? And to step away from the blame. Much of what they experienced in the course of their adventure as homeless people, walking I think it's a Southwest Coast Trail. It goes through England anyway. But they experienced a lot of, excuse me, negative reactions to them. You know, people would talk to them, everything was great, and as soon as they said they were homeless, they scattered. People scattered. And she said many people were blaming about the homeless situation. That, you know, why don't you just get a job? You know, not even bothering to care that this man was terminally ill, etc. And that they had psychological trauma from losing their home, etc., etc. It was just a blame them kind of a thing. And oftentimes, I think the reason that happens is, especially if someone is very similar to us. Oh, here are these people, they had a home and a business, and they lost it all, and now they're homeless. Geez, I have a home and a business. What if I lose it all? That would be awful, etc., etc. So I have to find something in them to blame so that I don't have to worry about it happening to me, kind of a deal. Charity moves us, and we respond to people's needs, giving help and kindness. We make a genuine difference in their lives. When we are charitable, we don't judge others. We give them the benefit of the doubt. Charity is caring made manifest. I like that definition. Charity is caring made manifest. It begins with those closest to us and includes ourselves. Charity creates a circle of love. The quote comes from the Bible, the first Bible, 1 Corinthians 13:4. And now abideth faith, hope, and charity, these three. But the greatest of these is charity. So doing for others. The practice of charity. Here are your I statements. Pick one out if you like. I feel compassion for the suffering of others. I share what I have. I give generously. I withhold judgments. I give others room for mistakes. When I see a need, I take action to help. I am thankful for the gift of charity. It makes my life a blessing. So what do you do for others? Where do you support others, especially those who are going through difficult times? On the call last night, there were probably, I don't know, maybe 15 women. And I always think it's interesting that men choose not to participate in book club. Kind of interesting. I don't think we've had a man yet who participated. Very interesting. Anyway, one of the women who's in her mid-60s at this point talked about a period of time where she was homeless with three children. And it was the result of a divorce, and just a small window between leaving the family home and needing shelter to find a place, not having a job, etc., etc. And I think we're seeing more and more of that right now. I had a woman last week who called to see if I did long-term stays, and I said I will do monthly during the winter, but this isn't set up for long-term stays. But she was losing her home of 16 years because the house she was renting was sold, and her income is low, and she has several pets and can't find a place to live. And up here, whether you have pets or not, there's not much available. So here she was finding herself in this situation where she's going to have to surrender her pets. She's probably going to be homeless for a while, etc. Pretty scary circumstances. And again, notice within yourself if you have a tendency right now to go, well, yeah, but it's her fault because blah, 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 blah. That's not charitable. That's not charitable. We need to suspend judgment about the circumstances of other people's lives and be of support if we can be of support. So what I could do for her, I told her, yes, you certainly can be here for a couple of months at the most, but you're going to have to find a longer term place. And she knew that that was the possibility. Here she could have her pets for a month or two. Elsewhere, she's probably not going to have good luck with that. So how to step into being charitable. I know oftentimes people will say too, well, how do you know they're not abusing substances? And how do you know they're not, if you give them money, how do you know they're not using it for drugs, etc., etc.? If I were giving someone money, I wouldn't know that. I would be withholding judgments and giving people the benefit of the doubt. That's what I would be doing. I would be more inclined to give them something direct, like food, etc. So, but that practice of charity, having a giving heart, a generous way of viewing others, caring for their needs, compassion for the suffering of others, even though we don't know, respond to their needs, giving help and kindness. Even just the kindness, that was again something that was mentioned in the book, where again, the book is The Salt Path. Again, she talked about when people thought they were walking the path, the trail, just as something to do in midlife, they were all over it. Oh, you're so cool, this is great, blah, blah, blah. When they found out they were homeless and walking the path, everything changed. There was one person at the end of the book who didn't react negatively, and actually offered them a place to stay, which was cool. Other homeless people along the path were very accepting of them because they got it. They got it. Many of those people were people in low-paying jobs who couldn't afford the high cost of housing in Europe. We're running into that now too. We're running into that now too. If someone works a lower paying job or doesn't get sufficient hours, they can end up in that circumstance far too easily. So our word for today is charity. Charity. So I'd like you to think today, not just about how you can have a more charitable heart, but yes, that's a great piece. But then how can you take that charitable heart and put it into some kind of action? Some kind of action. It can be small. Doesn't matter what it is. All right? Have an awesome day. We'll see you again tomorrow. Remember, you're capable of far more than you think you are, including charitability. Bye-bye.